Good morning, I'm Jeanette LaFrocia. We're here to review a proposal for a brief educational course, so let's get started. The analysis phase of this project caused me to focus on ultrasound basics for staff who work in cardiac catheterization labs and electrophysiology labs. I've been working in cardiology for almost 20 years now, and I'm also a registered cardiac sonographer, so I've used ultrasound in many different types and forms over the years. Whether we're talking about nurses or technologists in the labs, these folks do not get any kind of education in ultrasound during their training. And with the growth of ultrasound procedures in the labs, it's imperative to have at least a basic understanding of different types of ultrasound studies. Therefore, the goal of this instruction is to give invasive cardiology professionals a general working knowledge of ultrasound procedures that are performed in their work area. Moving to the design and development phases, the course reviews different types of ultrasound studies seen and why they're used, the different probe types that are used, and a brief look at several adjustments that can be made to the image. And these are the official objectives for the training: being able to summarize why a study is being performed, being able to pick out which probe you need based on the type of study ordered, and being able to describe some basic adjustments that can be made to improve the imaging. Each objective has lecture slides accompanied by pictures or video, and there's a knowledge check question at the end of each section. A final post-test will be included, as well as course survey questions. I want to make this course as useful and relevant as possible. The target audience is busy and does not need to be wasting time on content that may or may not be helpful. So let's take a look at one of the lectures. This one covers the third objective, which is basic imaging controls. So the first slide here is a brief introduction to this section. And basically why we want to know these things is we want to increase efficiency during the procedures. We want to increase the effectiveness of the ultrasound study being used. One of those adjustments is called depth. It basically changes the size of the image on the screen. When you increase the depth, it actually makes the image smaller, and vice versa. And this can be a bit confusing. Basically, you want to center the image. And here's a really great picture of too little, too much, and just right depth as an example. The second thing I would cover is adjusting the gain, which is basically the brightness of the picture. And we want a good balance, not too bright where structures are basically whited out, but not too dark that we can't see what we need to see. And again, here's a good picture of too little, too much, and an optimal amount of gain. I'll also talk about color Doppler, which basically shows the direction of blood flow through vessels. And sometimes this can be confusing for people, but you have to know where the transducer is in the image, and if it's red, it's flowing toward that transducer. If it's blue, it's flowing away. The confusing part comes in where sometimes people think that the color means if it's arterial blood or venous blood, but that is not the case. And with this picture, I added in the labeling with standard anatomical abbreviations. PV is pulmonary vein, LARA is a left and right atrium, RV and LV are left and right ventricle, and AO is aorta. And this basically shows where the transducer is at the top. So your blue is moving away from the transducer, and the reddish flow is moving toward. This is another picture, basically the femoral arteries and the femoral veins in your legs. The remaining two objectives that I covered earlier are reviewing probe types and indications for ultrasound studies. And they follow the same format. And these are all followed by a summative assessment and the course survey. And these are some tests, questions that I have developed to go along with this. Pictures, and I focused on these types of questions, which are scenario-based, things that would be seen in the real world and would be most relevant to the target audience. And here are some course survey questions. Organization of the course. Has it increased your interest? Has it increased your understanding of ultrasound? I've actually shown this course to my SME, who is one of my coworkers. He has been doing cardiac ultrasound for 30 years, and he likes the organization and he feels that the content meets the objectives, so that was good to hear. And I hope I've convinced you of the need for this training and that my course is of high quality and relevance to the target audience. I believe this could really help with procedure efficiency and understanding. Thank you.